get this party started. We're going to start, first of all, thank you for coming out on a Friday afternoon on our annual parent preview performance of our show for next year. We'll talk more about that in a second. Allow me to introduce myself to all the new parents here. My name is Vhs Band. I'm the director of bands here. Now I introduce the staff. Right here, this is Mr. Paul Pape. He's our percussion director. This is Miss Stephanie Lee, one of the associate director of bands. Mr. Mike Howard. He's up here. There's Mr. Mike Howard. We also have the brains behind the beautiful Vision Dance Company, Miss Candace Bradley. And then our drum majors. Across the front, alphabetically, we have Miss Rhea Adhikari. Trendsetter. He's our first boy drum major. So let's go. We also have a new student leadership position this year. And we took a play card. Ms. Lee is a graduate of the University of North Texas. We had Mr. Rizaki, student teaching with us forever. And they have a position there that's known as a student assistant, basically a non-conducting drum major that does a lot to ensure the band program functions at the highest level. And that position this year is Ms. Rosalind Harold. So, brief description about the show. You're here, you want to hear music, you don't want to hear me talk the whole time, so I'll do it quickly. But to let you know what we're doing and thinking about doing and how this whole thing's going to go down, you've heard the rumors we're playing Swan Lake, but we're playing Swan Lake like you've never heard it before. I can assure you that the arrangement is completely different, and you may hear music that you go, I didn't know that was in Swan Lake, because it's not. It's music that I took from different sources. First, we put together, I really wanted to do Swan Lake in some fashion, but I didn't want it to be boring, old school Swan Lake that's going to put the audience to sleep. So we had to figure out how to do that. So I relied on our visual coordinator, who you will meet over time. His name is Jude Boughton. And he came up with the premise, the concept, the storyline of the show. And that is, we're going to use loosely the story of the ballet of swans during the day, women at night, and that whole struggle concept. What you'll hear right off the bat is our entrance onto the lake. So you're going to hear music from actually Carnival of the Animals by Camille Saint-Saëns. There's a movement in there entitled The Dying Swan. And you'll hear that portrayed in music from Calvin Gang on euphonium, and you'll hear from Miles Bentley on trumpet. So they introduce this swan concept musically right away. And that transitions, and you start hearing this fast ostinato. You're going to hear all of this stuff in the front. All of that is the swans entering the lake. So that's what's going on visually. You'll see on the field, we're going to start with a gaggle or a group of swans in the middle of the field and two soloists. And when you hear that fast music, you'll start seeing people dive in. The whole field is going to be empty, and you'll start seeing musicians dive in all over the field to the first arrival. And that's where we arrive, and we're on the lake, and you'll hear the Swan Lake music. Bum, 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 the music that you're so familiar with. The next thing that we go into is called the Struggle at Midnight, or Midnight Struggle. And it's the good versus evil. It's the struggle of wanting to be a woman during the day, but they're trapped in this swan body, and all of these things that they know are going to happen. So you're going to hear struggling music that goes back and forth between different sections. And first it's here, and then it's the pit, and it's the batter, and it's these battles going on back and forth and back and forth. So you'll hear that in the Midnight Struggle through this whole thing. It also has technique features that are going to feature the brass, the woodwinds, and everything from there. The next part of it is this whole thing is going to take place in a scene of winter. So the next section, we're not going to play this today, but I'm just explaining the show, is going to be entitled The Beautiful Snow. And we're actually using, I know you're all familiar with when you'll hear it eventually from Nutcracker, the Christmas tree as it's sometimes called, or Journey Through the Snow. That music, beautiful music by Tchaikovsky. We'll be using that. You'll see snowflakes all over the field at the main arrival. The full band is going to be in this snowflake arrival, and the dancers are going to completely surround them with this beautiful swing flag that's going to be snowflakes. The next portion that you'll hear, we actually just got this music today from our percussion arranger, is we have this beautiful snow that turns to ice and then the ice cracks. And the next thing is this freezing ice. And it's going to be this whole percussion feature where we're going to make this ice sculpture thing on the middle of the field with the dancers. And they're going to use these pieces of ice and they break together as it all comes through. And then finally it all wraps up with, obviously we have to make our swans come out. So the white swan merging is the final movement. And you'll hear, we'll go back to classical music and we'll go back to the classical ballet and finish this off in a manner that everyone is accustomed to if you've seen or heard the music from Swan Lake. So that's the shortest version possible of what we're going to be doing over the next several months. What you're going to hear right now is our pre-show entrance as well as Midnight Struggle. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's very engaging. I want to double check sound one more time, please. Go. Good. Here we go. Let's turn. Do it again. Good. I'll turn it up in a second. Here we go. So without further ado, this is movement 1 of Swan Lake. Think about when you're